What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Vchain today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This one comes to us at the request of Martin Van Halem, or Van Halem, I don't know how to pronounce it, but hit the like button. Thank you all for being here. We're at about 3.425 cents right now. Vchain's moved down a little bit since we last talked. It did seem as though it was breaking out here. A lot of crypto seemed like it was breaking out around here, and then we had the Trump dump. The Trump dump came along, right? The tariff scare happened. And that's okay. Really, all it's done is it's given us more time to allocate our funds, collect ourselves, buy the lows, bring that moving or that cost average down. Unless, of course, your cost average is below this line here, in which case you're going to still bring it up, but at a lower rate than you would have. If we look at the relative high here, yeah, let's do that. Let's look at this relative high to the relative low here. You moved up to your 127.21414 area, and you pulled back. Man, you pulled back all the way through your golden ratio. You don't normally do that. Sometimes when you do, you find support on the 382 or the 236, but oftentimes these are non-ideal situations where you could actually see the price roll over. I don't think you're going to see the price roll over. And that's because I think your weekly RSI actually looks pretty phenomenal. If you look at the weekly RSI here, you have some higher lows coming in line here in a nice succession. This most recent low of which is bouncing right around the 40 area. That's a pretty powerful signal, okay? In fact, the last time that you bounced literally at this exact same area, it was right here, right? Pretty close, right there. That sent you into the overbought zone, right? That was on a nice moon mission. Just very similar to what you had here, right? Boom, look at that, right? Very, very nice price action. And then here, same thing, kind of nice price action. So a bounce from here on the weekly, which you will get, it'll definitely happen. If this week in the next 1 day and 9 hours can close green, you're up 7%. So just over the next, 33 hours, don't move down 7%. Just move up, if anything. That'll help your case out. But I like this bounce here. I very much do think that you'll close this week green. If you close it red, it would be like a neutral red week. I couldn't see you going lower than this right now. Very positive looking week here. If we look at a relative fib from the low to high, right, because we took this one high to low, here you did something that is pretty normal, which is you pulled all the way back down to your golden ratio, of which you're finding support at right now. You closed last week just below the golden ratio, and this week it looks like you could close above it. I think that would be a powerful signal in itself as well. Closing just below it 1 week and then closing above it the next week shows that, just kidding, we're not going lower, we're actually bouncing here. I think it's normally a good look. 3-day time frame. Closing, you continue to close on the 3-day right at the golden ratio, showing support there. Daily time frame, a little bit below, but just for a short amount of time, and now you're decisively above it. So I really do like the way this looks. I want to look at the RSI on the daily real quick. The daily is the only thing that makes me think you could go down. It's the only thing that makes me think you could. But you are above the 40, which is nice. The daily's not going to help me here. The daily makes me think you want to go down. Makes me want to think that you're going into the oversold zone. I can't see that happening because a move like that for the oversold zone in the daily, that would probably take you below these lows here. And I don't see that happening. It could happen. It's possible. Anything's possible. But just because I don't see it happening doesn't mean it can't happen. But let's just look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour kind of looks like it wants to go down too. And this candle closes in 24 minutes. You're only down not even 1%. Man, it would be nice. I think it'd be a really good look if this 4 hour candle could come up and close green, right? I don't think it's a bad look if it closes red. I just think it would be a better look if it closed green, because then if it closes green, you're going to be holding support on this line, right? Because if you look right there, right where this crux happened, right where the last candle closed, that's right at this line. So in other words, if this 4 hour candle closes green, you're not breaking through the line, you're actually bouncing off of it. Does that make any sense? The way the RSI works, it's pivotal. It's pivotal. This point is not fixed until the 4 hour in the next 24 minutes closes. By the time most of you watch this video, it closes. So again, I want to just say this isn't condemning breaking this trend. It would just look better if the candle was green, because then you'd move up. If this 4 hour closes red, which I have to be honest with myself, I'm under the suspicion that it could. It's not even down 1%. It wouldn't even take a 1% move in 20 minutes. That's why it's hard to say, right? I could very well be wrong on this, but with the data we have in front of us, it would make more sense that we probably go down. If we were to go down, then we likely would close the week at lower prices, and that's fine, right? Not dramatically lower prices. I mean, you could close the week still. If you move down over this week, you could still close it green, is all I'm trying to say by that. 4 hour time frame looks like a little bit bearish. What about the 1 hour? The 1 hour also is suggesting that you would go lower, okay? I think that you would. And the 15 minutes, same thing. So I think we just have to accept that, right? You are going to go lower. I think you are going to go lower. How much lower are you going to go? Again, we're looking for a green week here. So something hopefully that is not below 3.1933 cents. Okay. From a relative low to a, let's take this low to high actually. This low to high here. I would expect, just based off of this fib, how you've been reacting with the fib, I would expect that your 0.5 holds. I would expect that you hold that. So that's at 3.3 cents. The line you need to hold is below that. So that's good. Good. Okay, cool. Perfect. That's good. So yeah, moving down a little bit, still closing the week green. If you close the week green, you get that nice bounce on this 40 area at the RSI, which also culminates with this higher low trend that you've got going on, right, on the weekly. The last time you bounced here, it was good for you. The time before that you bounced here, it was good for you, right? So I think a bounce here at your relative golden ratio would also be good for you, okay? Not just that golden ratio, but also this golden ratio from a low to a high. Yeah, basically bouncing off of that golden ratio. You probably will, nice, on the week 2, you'll probably close above the golden ratio too. That's nice. That's good. All good things. Closing above the golden ratio, getting a green week. You'll move down over the coming days, but it's the weekend. Sometimes oftentimes what you do over the weekend sets you up for the opposite to happen over the next week. So if we're moving down over the weekend, that could actually be a good premonition of next week. It's not always like that. It's just a good rule of thumb. It happens a good bit of the time. I wouldn't say it's like a 90% or an 80%, maybe not even a 70% thing. It's like a 60-40 kind of thing, right? A little bit more than just a flip of the coin, but in case anyone's confused on what I'm saying that when you move down over the weekends, you can expect to move up over the weekdays. If you move up over the weekends, you can expect to move down over the weekdays. Does that make sense? Not 100% of the time, maybe more like 60-40, right? It's not a perfect science, but the theory behind it is there's not a lot of liquidity. There's not a lot of volume, right? The traders of the world, they're not at work on the weekends. They're only at work on the weekdays. So there's less liquidity here. There's less volume. This price action is less reliable as a result. It's less real, right? Because whenever the week opens and we actually get the big dogs with the big boy money, the big girl money coming in, those moves have more to back them. They do matter, right? So oftentimes over the weekend it dumps. Over the week it'll pump, it'll correct, because people come into the week, they're like, oh, it's at a cheaper price than it was last week. I'm going to buy. That's a no-brainer. That's the kind of logic. And there might be other reasons for that too, but that's the kind of logic that I feel like a lot of people in the crypto space run with. But beyond that, I think I can probably wrap this video up talking about the fact that I think that you will close above 3.3 cents, which is good. You'll probably move down today, not a lot. You'll probably move down tomorrow, not a lot. And then starting next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're going to pump. You're going to do some phenomenal stuff. I think that you will start to grow. Let's finish on a good note here. Where are you going to go next week? I think Vchain next week, you're due for prices that are around, if not even above, 5.3 cents. So above 5 cents. But maybe at least, I think you're going to move up to this golden ratio here. Next week, I really do. I think next week, by the end of the week, you will be up, let's see, from this current price, you'll be up a whole like 50+%. Man, this thing's about to rip. I really do think it is. If not by the end of the week next week, if you're not up here by the end of the week, then I would at least think you're on your way. You would at least be above 4 cents, 4.2 cents, right? That's my expectation. You would at least see some kind of productive movements. If you're not up here, it might be because you got tied up at prior areas of support here, and you might be finding some turbulence, and then next week you get up here. But I really would expect that by the end of February, going into March, you're probably closer to these highs, if not above them, than you would be down here. You know what I mean? So again, by the end of February, I would think you're closer to this price than you are to your current price. So certainly something above here. It is the 15th of February now, so we are coming upon the end of the month. It doesn't need to start this next week, but I have a pretty strong feeling that next week is going to be good for crypto. If not the whole week, the end of the week I think will be spectacular, and that's going to be enough causality at least to let me believe that you go to your golden ratio here at 5.3 cents. Do you have to do that by the end of next week? Is it broken if you don't do that? No, it's fine. If you find resistance here and by the end of next week you're not even above 4.5 cents, that's fine. That's okay. It just means that these targets they're going to happen just at a later date, right? So, but inevitably, I think that you will not just hit 5 cents, not just hit 7 cents, but you will see new highs relative to this. I want to zoom out a little bit and just tell you where I think you're going ultimately. Okay. Looking at last cycle's high to the cycle low here. Rejecting the golden ratio, finding support perfectly on the 236. That's a bit of an extreme wicked volatility there. It's not so common, but hey, that's a good reaction. If by the end of this month, man, you can be at this month's opening price or above it, that would be a really, really good look, okay? Just like this here was a bad look and it sent us down, doing the opposite I think would be a really good look. And that could provide a move probably by the end of March. You're at 3.4 cents now. By the end of March, by the end of this next move, right? If this was a move up here, that was the end of the move. If this was a move up here, that was the end of the move. By the end of this next move, not by the end of the cycle, by the end of this next move, which I think will be sometime in late March, if not mid-March, I think you'll be at 14 to 19 cents. 14 to 19 cents. Let me just see real quick. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's an above average move for what I expect the average altcoin to do over the coming weeks, so that's good. And we expect Vchain to be a little bit above average. Whenever it comes to cycle ending dynamics, I personally think that you're going to go all the way up to your 2272 here. Ooh, maybe not actually. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know. Let's see. How possible is that, Vchain? Number 40. You're at 2.8 billion. $2.8 billion. A 340x might be off the table. That would put you at, you'd basically be at about $1 trillion, 800 billion, somewhere in that range, right? Maybe it happens. I don't know. That seems a bit crazy. The 2272 is an area that a lot of cryptos like to go to for cycle ending highs, but with something that's as high of a market cap like this, it might be more appropriate to look at the primary expected zone, maybe at the most the 1886200 area. The 1272 being the minimum target is a 17x. Personally, from the current price. Personally, I see Vchain outperforming the average coin in the market, so I see it going higher than this. The average coin from their current prices, I think, is going to do anything from like an 18x to like a 23x, somewhere in that kind of range. If you go up to your 1414, this would be about a 26, 27x, right there at about 91 cents. That would put Vchain just slightly above the pack, and I could see that happening. With the 1414, it's very common to wick just above it. What's just above 92 cents that might be a psychological reason for stopping? Right there at $1. Maybe Vchain, you see a 29x from your current price at 3.43 cents, and that does outperform the average coin, so that's good enough for me. I think this is a good minimum target. $1 is a good minimum target for the end of the cycle. It might even be a good likely target. Maybe 60 cents should be a good minimum target, but I don't think you stop at 60 cents, man. I think that you do reach for $1, something around this area. As a good maximum, I think 375 to 528. Yes, I'm saying that correctly. $3.75 to $5.28 is a good maximum given target. It's a good potential, and we'll go over what the market cap would be for that as well. But the 1618 could also be a likely stopping point, and that's at about a 50x. 50x from 2.8 billion. That'll put you over $100 billion. That might even put you right around 100 billion. Well, actually, that would put you, if it was a 40. This is actually a 40. It's basically a 50x. So that would put you just over $100 billion. Maybe you reach that. Maybe you fall just shy of that, and you find resistance at $100 billion itself. I really think there's a strong case to be made that something between here, the 1414 at 91, let's just say 92 cents, and here at $1.69, 92 cents, $1.69. I think it's a very strong likelihood that you don't stop, that you don't stop at either of these levels specifically, but something in between. There's a strong possibility of that. This is your, I think if you had a glory box, this is your glory box right here, okay? Now, if you were to see the maximum potential, I do accept this as the maximum potential. I do think Vchain, even at its current price of 3.43 cents, hold on. I do think it has 100x capabilities. And that would put you at $3.75 to $5.28. Let's just see if you can go to that maximum kind of range there. That's about 150x, 150x. 100x from here would be 280 billion. Add another, half of that, you'd be at about $500 billion, right? Right, something around there. A little bit below 500 billion, if I'm correct. Yeah, over 4.5. Let me think. No, you'd be under 4.5 billion. So just under 450 billion. I could see that. I think Vchain, out of any cryptos out here, right, there are going to be a lot of coins that establish their first, they established the cycle where they first see a multi-$100 billion market cap I think Vchain is one of those coins that deserves it. I think it's one of those coins that it's been around long enough, it's remained relevant long enough, and they've been innovative enough and productive enough. I think that it could see. This doesn't mean that it will, but it could see a market cap of something around 400 to 500 billion dollars. That's my moon boy target, right? That's my something to dream about, something to think about or consider, right? 375 to $5.28 I think is a doable target. Anything above that, not so much. Probably more likely something below $4 than it would be above $5, but anything up there I think is a possibility for Vchain. I feel most strongly about this 92 cent to $1.69 area. I feel the least strongly about the 60 cent area. In fact, I would say I even feel more strongly about $3.75 than I do about. Does that make sense? I feel like this target is more likely for you as an all-time high this cycle than this target would be. Does that make sense? So 60 cents would be pessimistic bear piss. It would suck if that happened, but even then you're still getting about a 17x. So that's, you can wipe your tears away with some Benjamins, I suppose, but you can wipe them away with a lot more, or who knows what else you could do with a lot more money. But if it goes to the targets that I'm expecting, I hope you guys took something away from this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a little bit since I talked about Vchain. I will include this. I don't know why. Just genuinely, no excuses. I just forgot, man. I've talked about so many coins on a regular. This coin I think deserves to be in the regular repertoire. I will be throwing it in the regular repertoire from here on out, right? It won't be a month before I talk about it again, but it might not be every day, but more often, I promise. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.